The new Pokemon game has anti-homeless benches. You read the title and you've seen the thumbnail, and I am only being a little facetious. As a part of the new leaks involving the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, we are getting a new insight on not only the upcoming Legends ZA game. In fact, by the time I upload this, chances are that game is no longer upcoming. It's out now. But we also are getting a sneak peek at what the new Pokemon generation coming out next year is going to look like. And for those who aren't in the loop, the next generation will be Generation 10. And next year is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. And please spare me, I do not want the Nintendo ninjas knocking down my door, so the information that I visually provide is going to have to be limited. So if you want my source, it is Centro Leaks on Twitter. This one particular post did cause quite the uproar, and even in my previous video talking about Junichi Masuda, there were a couple of comments talking about the sustainable development goals being turned into gym badges. Yes, you read that correctly. The information that we currently have is that there are a total of 18 challenges, one for each type. They will be inspired by the sustainable development goals, and clearing all the 18 challenges allow you to challenge the champion. Now, before we completely tear into this, I'd like to give credit where credit is due. I think it's actually a very good move, especially if you're planning on doing an open world game, to have 18 challenges before having to beat the final champion. Because as far as we're aware, the Gen 10 Pokemon games, which supposedly as of now are going to be referred to as Pokemon Wind and Wave, is playing to be more of the style of Scarlet and Violet that started. So far we know that you'll actually be able to do these challenges out of order, and there will be level scaling, which was a huge complaint regarding Scarlet and Violet. And for some reason, there are people that defend the decision not to have level scaling in the gym battles. I don't know why, but the thought of having 18 gym battles essentially instead of just the merely 8 is actually quite a big prospect. Like, that's a huge expansion of what the game is. Maybe we'll actually get a story about being a Pokemon trainer instead of just saving the world from the legendary Pokemon captured by the evil team. I know we were all just glazing Junichi Masuda just this last video, but he's the one that really started the trend of just huge legendary Pokemon that is capable of destroying everything but is actually kind of good. Then the evil team takes control of them, and now it's just a shonen plot. Pokemon Red and Blue had a much more down-to-earth, sort of grounded take on what it would be like to be a Pokemon trainer. To a lesser extent, but still valid, would be Soul Silver and Heart Gold. The evil team in that is just what's left of Team Rocket. They're not even a fully fledged organization at that point. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off, looking for Giovanni. The reason those more grounded plots worked is because your rivals were such douchebags to you. You had a personal stake in trying to beat your rival, Blue, Gary, Silver, whatever you want to call them. They just had a little stick up their ass about you, and it felt so satisfying to beat them. But onwards to the sustainable development goals that supposedly are going to inspire the new gym challenges, or whatever their equivalents will be named. This Centro Leaks account actually was very generous enough to actually give us the list from, I'm assuming, the official website, which I will now read verbatim. Number 1, no poverty. 2, zero hunger. 3, good health and well-being. 4, quality education. 5, gender equality. 6, clean water and sanitation. 7, affordable and clean energy. 8, decent work and economic growth. 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. 10, reduced inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. 12, responsible consumption and production. 13, climate action. 14, life below water. 15, life on land. 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And 17, partnerships for the goals. An 18th one is not listed, so I guess we know that there is one still up in the air, assuming that this leak is even accurate to what the final game is going to look like at all. Because the idea of theming your entire gym challenge around these empty platitudes from this initiative, which is just like, you know, WEF, Klaus Schwab, many people are saying, just like, oh, this is some globalist nonsense. Like, obviously, in principle, yeah, no poverty and zero hunger sound good, but it's such a vague, empty platitude. Like, how are you going to turn no poverty into a gym challenge? Are you just going to have like a team of 6 Meowths? Are they just going to use payday all over you? Are they just going to take your money? Many people in the comments section of this leak are of course clowning on the idea of beating gender equality. Like, you're walking up to the gym battle and you're literally fighting the boss of gender equality. Does that mean once you beat gender equality, is that like going to erase gender equality? Did you defeat gender equality in general? After putting some thought into all of these initiatives and how they could actually tie into a gym battle theme, some of these could actually work somewhat well if you divorce it enough from the baggage of this sustainable development goal. Like, for example, a gender equality themed boss fight could be similar to the psychic gym in Generation 3, where you had a male and a female being co-gym leaders, since they're like twins, brother and sister. For something like partnerships for the goals, then possibly have it be a double battle. For something such as good health and well-being, I mean, you could additionally make it a double battle, because frankly, making a battle a double battle makes it way more interesting and allows way more options. Like, I guarantee you, if they made every major battle in the game a double battle, maybe even throw in a couple of triple battles and rotation battles. I know Pokemon removed them in Generation 7, but a man can dream. In all fairness, it did lag the 3DS really bad, but to be fair, we're on the Switch 2 now. My hopes aren't exactly high for the new Pokemon game, but considering we would normally be getting a new generation at this point, new generations usually come out every 3 years, and it's been 3 years since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Wow, I've been on YouTube for way too long. I remember dunking on Scarlet and Violet when that was fresh, and that was like a year into my career. So maybe that extra year of development time will actually be put to really good use, and we're going to get an amazing game, and Pokemon will finally be back on top. But guessing by Game Freak's track record for roughly the past 10 years, my hopes aren't exactly very high. I do not blame anybody for having zero faith in Pokemon at this point, and Pokemon specifically, because time after time, they have completely fumbled the ball. When it comes to the national decks, when it comes to the performance issues of Scarlet and Violet, when it comes to Pokemon Legends Arceus just legit looking like a Roblox game. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed Legends Arceus, but man, does it look rough. Also, it's an open world game where it doesn't track the collectibles on the map. There are Spirit Tomb orbs in all of the different areas of Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it tracks how much you have, but it doesn't track which ones you got in which location. It's very similar to the P-Switch issue that Mario Kart World had at launch, which they patched out just this last month. So frankly, if Mario Kart was able to patch it out in like 4 months, then why can't Pokemon? And frankly, I don't even know why I'm asking that question, because I'm pretty sure we all know the answer to. This is Game Freak we're talking about. They made the entirety of the map of Lumio City in Pokemon Legends ZA a single model. I could not fathom how a Switch 1 could manage to load an entire city at once. And this is not to mention the removal of gender options in Pokemon. And Scarlet and Violet, it doesn't ask you if you're a boy or a girl, which was a legendary line from Professor Oak, which is no longer going to be in the series, at least in the English translation. Please tell me if you speak other languages, if it's still prevalent in yours. And speaking of the English version, we have Zoomer slang in Pokemon Legends ZA, because I'm sure that's not going to age like complete milk that's been laid out in the sun, even by the time that this game comes out. It's like how South Park is just now making an episode about 6'7", the 6'7" meme. Another cause for concern is that recently, and by recently I mean within the last few years, a DEI consultant was hired at the Pokémon Company International, which obviously is not the exact same entity as Game Freak, so who knows how deeply this will seep into the games itself. But the fact that we're getting literal climate initiatives being the theme of a Pokemon region, there is definitely a cause for concern here. But that has been another aspect of the Pokemon leaks. My thumbnail was only taking the piss just a bit, but if you like this video, please consider giving this video a like and definitely tell me what you think in the comment section down below. And this has been the Pokemon slander that Nintendine refuses to give you because Nintendine is a complete and total fraud. He's not willing to call this out. Nintendine will act like the brokest boy ever when it comes to a single $80 game. Then he'll buy Hollow Knight Silk Song 4 different times and not even play it.